Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Hi, good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Greg Lloyd. My co-anchor Amanda Peralta has the night off. Thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30 live on YouTube.
All flags to half staff and to sunset this date, July 10th, 2023, in remembrance of Deputy Ty Brown with the Crisp County Sheriff's Office.
A day to pause to honor the legacy of a Middle Georgia hero killed in the line of duty. Hundreds of people gathered today in Cordele, paying their final respects for Deputy Ty Brown, who was killed in the line of duty last week. Our Gloria Ruth Finney is live in Cordele, where Deputy Brown's funeral was held this afternoon, and joins us now. Gloria Ruth.
Greg, an overwhelming amount of love and support shown here today in Cordele. Community leaders and people from all over came to pay their respects at the funeral for Deputy Ty Brown. Hundreds of people packed the auditorium of Crisp County Middle School to say goodbye to Deputy Brown. The 26-year-old died in the line of duty after being shot during a traffic stop last week. Law enforcement agencies from all over the state, including Middle Georgia, attended today, honoring Deputy Brown. We spoke to Jones County Sheriff Butch Reese after the service.
Sure, it's a terrible day. I think the district attorney pointed out eloquently, they're heroes and they're monsters. This deputy is a hero. The monsters waiting justice. These guys, men and women who put on the uniforms every day, are heroes. We forget it, but they're heroes.
Following salutes and last call, funeral attendees lined South Pecan Street for a procession and final farewell to Deputy Ty Brown. We'll have more on the service tonight for Deputy Brown tonight at 11 on ABC 16. Reporting live in Cordele, Gloria Ruth Finney, WGXA News.
Thank you, Gloria Ruth. And the high speed of NASCAR was in Georgia this weekend, but drivers and teams paid tribute to the fallen deputy. Several cars, including those of Mason Maggio, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Ryan Ellis, Greg Van Hunt, and Brennan Poole, had a Memorial Crisp 17 badge decal remembering Deputy Brown. And people across the nation are recognizing Deputy Brown's sacrifice. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp issuing an executive order for all flags at the state capitol in Crisp County to be flown at half staff. The GBI showing him respect as his body left their crime lab on July the 5th. And several other institutions across the nation also recognizing his sacrifice, including multiple NYPD precincts and even police in Texas. And today, the Forsyth community is mourning the loss of one of their longtime leaders. The city posted on Facebook that Councilman Melvin Lawrence has died. He spent more than 20 years serving the community, most recently representing those that lived in his district post 3. City officials said that his leadership will be greatly missed, and they send their condolences to his wife, Catherine, and all of his family. Taking a look now at the weather, we had a wet start back to this work week. And will it continue to be the same story? Meteorologist Ryan Mirando is joining us live in the Weather Center with brighter, drier news. Ryan.
Brighter, drier, all the great adjectives, especially once we're getting towards summer. You really want to be out and about. But this morning we did have some downpours. Covington got about 1.5 inches of rain. That's just north of Jasper County. Edenton, just about 1 inch of rain. So it was a bit of a wet start back to work this Monday. And most of us are quiet at this point. We still have a little bit of a downpour right now moving through areas in Crawford County that move through Roberta. This could be heading towards Peach County, but really it's going to begin to fall apart. You may see a sprinkle or two over Byron and Fort Valley here over the next half hour, but a wider view on satellite and radar showing this is beginning to push out. Up when we could potentially see some more heat advisories in place, all coming up in your full forecast. Greg.
Ryan, thank you. It's a great time to download that WGXA weather app to stay ahead of any changing weather conditions. Ryan is back shortly with your 10-day forecast. A viral video led to a Macon mother being charged with child abuse, and the family who recorded that video is now speaking out. Our Brianna Cook talked to them to find out more, and she's live now in the studio tonight. Brianna?
Greg, the videos were recorded by another child, and we would like to warn you what you will see may be disturbing.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
This video comes after an 8-year-old was outside playing with her neighborhood friends. Gabriella Harris and her sister were outside playing with the child from the video.
We were in a pool, and that's when we decided to move the trampoline closer to the pool so we could jump in and out of it. And when we did that, I think she got mad and came outside and told everyone to leave.
Shortly after, Harris says she saw the little girl outside asking them for help, and that's when they decided to record. In the video, you can see the little girl running away from her mom while the other children yell. The child is then dragged through the grass and hit in her face.
Watching that take place, how did that make you feel in that moment?
It made me feel sad.
When McKenzie, Gabriella's aunt, says as soon as her nieces sent her the video, she immediately called the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. She says she called numerous times but did not get the response she expected.
So I ended up having to go to the police department, and there was an officer sitting in his car, and he dispatched for 2 officers to come. It should not have taken 2 hours, because if it was a deadly situation, those kids could have been seriously harmed or they could have been killed.
McKenzie says she uploaded the video online to seek resources for not only the child, but the mother.
The school's been making reports on it as well, but they couldn't do anything because there was no proof. And so I feel like it's a systematic failure here. A lot has failed that child. A lot has failed the mother as well. Because someone said to me, I even thought about posting her bond, but under the conditions that she get help.
McKenzie says she hopes some good comes from this.
I'm hoping and I'm praying that this incident is something that is something like a wake-up call for not only us as black people or black mothers, it's other races that go through the same thing. This is a, look here, mental health awareness is something that needs to be taken serious, because you never know what would trigger you at any moment.
Bibb deputies say they responded as soon as they possibly could, and that the mother, Samira White, was arrested and charged with cruelty to children and turned custody of her 3 children over to a relative. Reporting live in studio, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
Thank you, Brianna. And Bibb deputies are investigating what led to a man being discovered dead on the side of the road over the weekend. Deputies say they were called yesterday afternoon when someone found the man's body, now identified as 49-year-old Lawrence Phelps Jr., across from a Pionona shopping complex near Rice Mill Road in St. Charles Place. Deputies so far say they don't suspect foul play. The body will be sent to the GBI crime lab to determine the cause of death. And this morning, the Bibb County Sheriff's Office makes an arrest in a deadly shooting from back in April. 22-year-old Shamar Robinson has been charged for killing Don Miko Flowers during a fight at a home on Hall Street. Robinson has been charged with murder. That investigation tonight is still ongoing. A Macon burglar didn't make it far Saturday night, getting caught in the act by deputies. Deputies went to the Marathon gas station on Harrison Road around 3 in the morning. That's where they found Derek Goodson. They say he was hiding in the ceiling of the station's bathroom. Investigators feel this wasn't his first time either, believing him to be connected to a burglary attempt at the same Marathon station. Goodson has been charged with burglary and criminal attempt to commit a felony. The NAACP says that Bleckley County Sheriff Chris Cootie should step down as a sexual battery case against him goes through the court system. They spoke about that today and about concerns they have about racial disparities when it comes to justice. Carlos Stevens attended a news conference today and brings us more from Bleckley County. Carlos.
Well, Greg, earlier today I spoke to the Bleckley County NAACP, and they told me that they made several attempts to reach out to the sheriffs in hopes of getting a meeting, but they've not heard anything back. Bleckley County Sheriff Chris Cootie remains on the job after being accused of inappropriately touching popular TV judge Glenda Hatchett at a conference in Atlanta. Now the NAACP is speaking up with hopes of getting some questions answered about the case. They're asking the sheriff to take off his badge until the case is over.
He needs to be suspended from his position.
She says nothing being done speaks volumes. Are you saying that speaks volumes for the governor or both Bleckley County and the governor?
Bleckley County and the governor.
Westbrook says she also thinks actions should have been taken against the sheriff for being a no-show for his recent scheduled court appearance in Atlanta.
But nothing was done. A bench warrant should have been issued.
The NAACP says they also believe this shows how African Americans are treated differently in the legal system.
Race has a lot to do with it. People want to pretend that race doesn't, but it has everything to do with it.
The NAACP says the sheriff's alleged actions towards the TV judge are unacceptable and needs to be taken seriously.
They're treating it like it's really nothing.
Now, WGXA had questions of its own for the sheriff, and I took a trip to the sheriff's office looking to speak with the sheriffs about the case. However, I was told a staff member would give us a call later today. As of now, I still haven't received that phone call, but here are the questions we plan to present to the sheriff. Did you touch the judge inappropriately? Why are you continuing to work despite the case against you? Why didn't you attend the recent hearing in Atlanta? Do you think you're setting a good example for staff? If we hear back, we'll be sure to let you know both on air and online at WGXA.tv. Reporting in Bleckley County, I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA News.
House and county leaders will get together tonight to discuss taxes. The mayors of Centerville, Perry, and Warner Robins, along with the chairman of the county commission, will hold another public hearing on the 2024 Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, or SPLOST. That hearing is for those in the county to come and voice their thoughts and concerns. It starts at 6 o'clock tonight at the courthouse in Perry. In Bibb County, developers are bringing back a proposal for a new massive project that brings hundreds of new homes to Jennifer Drive. The developers want to rezone around 79 acres of the eastern end of Jennifer Drive to build more than 300 homes. Last month, the Planning and Zoning Commission delayed making a decision on the project until today. The plan has received pushback from those already living in the area over concerns of increased problems with flooding and sewer backups, along with more traffic. Summertime is the perfect opportunity to get out of the house and travel, but how you enjoy your summer vacation might look a little differently in Putnam County with new ordinances on short-term rentals in place. Irina Plunkett has been tracking the developments on the new rules for property owners and renters.
7 meetings later, and Putnam County commissioners are closer to finally breathing a sigh of relief. The long-debated short-term rental ordinance has the green light to go on to the next step, a public hearing for citizens.
Take a deep breath. It's been a while, but this is the real thing here, I believe.
Friday morning, all 5 commissioners came to a consensus on the rules they'd like to limit on Airbnbs and verbal rentals in the county. In the updated ordinance, property owners will have to give a copy of the new ordinance to renters, display their licenses, as well as make changes to the number of days and people who can rent on their property. An owner can only rent out their home for up to 14 days and must restrict occupation to only allow 2 people per 2-bedroom, plus 2 additional people per residence to those 25 years or older. It's a strict set of rules that County Attorney Barry Fleming says are meant to cut down on disturbances.
It's not that the sheriff has to come out to your place 3 times before you get to third strike. You can violate 3 different rules in one night and lose it after that. So it is a very strict, I would say, in how it implements itself.
After 6 drafts of the ordinance, District 3 Commissioner Alan Foster pointed out there was still room for revisions.
I would very much like to see an addition to that sentence to read that there would be a maximum of 12 people allowed on the property. So if you had a 3 or 4 bedroom home, that you would still be at 8 or 10. If you had a 5-bedroom home, you could have 2 plus 2, and that would 2 per bedroom plus 2. But then, what I'm trying to forestall here is people building 6 and 7-bedroom homes in 3 and 4-bedroom home neighborhoods.
With the consideration added and the pause for applications set to expire in mid-July, Sheriff Howard Sills prompted commissioners to go ahead and vote.
My standpoint of enforcement and the ability to enforce problems, this ordinance is very sound.
Irena says it's likely that commissioners will extend the application freeze to accommodate the public hearing meeting on July 18th for the citizens to voice their concerns before a final vote and approval. Once that happens, the county attorney says that new rules should go into effect sometime in August. Heat is the leading cause of weather-related deaths in America, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But there is one easy way to help solve that and save lives: trees. Our Ryan Mirando talked to local leaders to see what they're doing about adding more green to the streets.
To put it into perspective, if you could kind of label a number on it, how important on a scale of 1 to 10 would you have for keeping areas kind of connected with nature?
Well, I mean, it's a 10.
It's a scorching hot summer day. Temperatures in the 90s and the UV index is extremely high. You naturally seek shade to help cool yourself down. Well, now finding that perfect tree is becoming an easier thing.
Trees bring a lot of benefits. We all have to breathe, and so it definitely helps.
The leafy greens provide a canopy of shade, reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the air through photosynthesis, and can even reduce the amount of air pollution. But as Michael Glisson, the director of Parks and Beautification for Macon Bibbs, says,
There's studies out there that show psychologically that, just being around trees, planting trees and things like that kind of gives you that sense of getting back to nature, and it kind of just, I think it just helps people kind of be more at peace, really.
President Joe Biden and his administration sees the positive to tree planting and have invested a historic $1.5 billion in urban forestry through the Inflation Reduction Act, which Macon-Bibb County is going after.
As part of the Infrastructure Act, we're going after several federal and state grants from the U.S. Forestry Service and the Georgia Forestry Commission. We're going after those grants really hard, and we actually have a pretty good shot at getting a few.
The federal budget in the past years roughly sits around $36 million for all 50 states, a nearly 4,000% increase. Keep Macon Bibb Beautiful is using some green to plant more green, as they received a $10,000 grant to fund their projects near the intersection of MLK Jr. Boulevard and Hazel Street.
We're trying to move up, and this end of MLK is more so what I call sort of like the gateway into downtown.
A gateway that still has a long way to go, as the True Equity Score's National Explorer defines this area between MLK Jr. Boulevard to New Street a score of only 55 out of 100. The reason for the low score? A high surface temperature, likely to do with all the concrete and pavement.
Definitely to have an opportunity to be able to provide some shade for individuals as they're walking, as they're, waiting for the bus and whatnot.
And the county has already begun the process of the new walkable area on Cotton Avenue. What used to be a roadway is now a space for residents to enjoy the outdoors near local business.
We turned a space that was almost unusable with just a little bit of grass into all these trees that you see, and it'll be a nice shade area. People can come hang out. I think it's good for the, really the human spirit to be able to, kind of have some greenery to look at instead of concrete all the time.
The trees got a lot of water this morning. It's been a wet start to the work week, but it's also been cooler today. It's been a little less humid. Currently 83 degrees in Macon, 81 in Roberta, 84 in Milledgeville, and 80 right now in McRae. Compare these temperatures to this time yesterday, and we're sitting anywhere from about 5 to 13 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. So it definitely is a cooler day, but tomorrow the heat is already back up into the low 90s once again. So let's go live on our Wilson Bryant Heating and Air Skycast Network, looking out over Mercer University. Still have some clouds lingering around, but it has been noticeably cooler today, and we're really beginning to dry out. We still have a lingering shower or two. Most of us are dry here on our radar, but we have a few more small showers that are moving through Crawford County and down into Peach County. Fort Valley, Byron, you may see a sprinkle or two here over the next 15 minutes. Also down towards Reynolds and Potterville, getting a little bit of a downpour. Then we should be clearing out through the rest of tonight. Satellite and radar showing this entire frontal system that's been moving up the East Coast. Also brought some pretty serious flooding through areas of Pennsylvania and New York. We didn't really see any of the flooding, but this is finally beginning to draw out. So for the rest of tonight, we're mainly clear and comfortable. Overnight low 70 degrees as we get ready for Tuesday, and tomorrow and Wednesday we should be staying mainly dry. Rain chances really can't be zero this time of the year. We could get an isolated pop-up shower or storm, but then Thursday and into the weekend we get back towards that hot and humid air mass, so we could get some scattered thunderstorms again in the afternoon. Otherwise, for your Tuesday, it's really going to be a nice day, going up to a high of 91 degrees in Macon, 91 also in Forsyth, 90 in Edenton, 92 in Dublin, 91 in Warner Robins, and 90 degrees in Butler. These temperatures are running about 4 degrees below average, so it's still going to be a cooler day tomorrow, but we're going to be into the 90s. The heat really begins to ramp up as we get towards this weekend and towards next week. All this red, the darker the red color, the higher the probability of temperatures falling above average. So temperatures likely to be back on the other side of that average, where we could be even seeing some heat advisories in place as we get towards the weekend for feels like temperatures above 105 degrees. So in your 10-day forecast for your Tuesday, mostly sunny, the high 91 degrees. Rain chances aren't zero, but this is still below average. On Wednesday, we're back to being above average under a lot of sunshine, 95 degrees, still mainly dry for these 2 days. Thursday and Friday for the rest of the work week, we get back into that summertime pattern. Scattered PM storms Thursday. Friday, we do it again with some afternoon storms, 95. Not everyone gets hit. If you're lucky enough to get a downpour to like knock off the heat, though, looking towards the next weekend, that's when it really becomes hot and humid. 96 on Saturday and 96 on Sunday. Then when you factor in this high heat with the high humidity, feels like temps could be in near 105 for a few hours in the peak heating in the afternoon. So we'll have to check on that, but still going to have some rain showers and storms mainly in the afternoon hours straight through the next work week and weekend, as Monday more PM storms could be firing up the high of 95. Lastly, here's your Harrison's Body Shop fishing game forecast. Peaks at 9:20 a.m. and 10:20 p.m. Greg, back to you.
Thank you, Ryan. And tonight, a live look at T-Mobile Park in Seattle ahead of tomorrow's Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The game returns to Seattle for the first time in 22 years and only the third time ever. In fact, a new generation of All-Stars are taking to the MLB to new heights with more on-field energy and excitement than ever before. You can witness their unparalleled skill, athleticism, and passion for the game tomorrow night when the 93rd Midsummer Classic arrives at T-Mobile Park. You can tune in to watch it on WGXA Fox 24 at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen. We're here today at Bibb County Animal Services here in Bibb County and Macon. I'm joined today with Tracy, and guess who we are going to showcase today?
This is Parker.
Hey, Parker.
Parker is about 5-6 months old. He's just a baby. Yes, he is.
Oh, he's so calm.
And he's about 30 pounds. So he's a little chunky butt.
Oh, boy. And your hands are full. Now, how old is Parker, did you say?
He's 6 months old.
6 months old. And so what type, what breed?
He's a mixed breed. I got a little bit of everything.
He looks like he's interested in trying to check things out. Hey, Parker. So Parker, as you can see, he's very laid back, very docile, sort of. I think he would be good with kids. So if someone would like to adopt Parker, Tracy, how would they go about doing that?
So they can just reach out to us. Our phone number is 478-621-6774 and speak with Elvin. He's our adoption coordinator, and he'll get you in for a meet and greet, and we'll make sure that he is compatible for your family. And then from there, it's just some paperwork.
And now, not only that, there's a big event going on this weekend. Tell us about that, Tracy, and where it will be.
So it'll be at the Tractor Supply on Eisenhower, and it'll be from 11 to 3. And we will be out there with Parker and some other babies. So come see us.
All right, so let's go ahead and do that today. Let's adopt Parker. Let's find him a good home. And also, let's plan to be at Tractor Supply this Saturday for that big adoption event. Thank you so much, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Well, new today, a snake slithers its way into trouble and starts a house fire in Carroll County. Carroll County Fire and Rescue says this fellow caused that fire at a home on Muse Bridge Road. They say the reptile entered the home through a hole in the floor underneath an oven and caused an electrical short. Luckily, the damage was minor. The snake did not make it out unscathed. Responders on the scene say the snake is the biggest they've ever seen in person. Here he is compared to firefighter Mark Reed with Engine 15, and that is a long snake there. And in Bibb County, Animal Enforcement Officer Rebecca Galazio removed 2 more alligators that were a little too close to comfort on Irwinton Road. She was able to wrangle the 4-foot gator on her own and got a little help later with an almost 6-foot gator. Both were relocated unharmed to another area further away from humans.
Oh my God. Alligators, crocodiles, they are so scary.
Our walk on the wild side for the evening.
Do you believe in that thing with the crocodiles that the Mythbusters did, where you're supposed to run like diagonally, like?
Well, I always
back and
did
forth?
believe it, but I don't know. Did they bust them in?
They like did it. I don't remember if it was. I think they might have said it was like plausible or something. I don't know.
I'm not willing to let one chase me to find out, though, if I
True.
can help it. That's all the time we have for WGXA News at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16, but don't forget to like and subscribe. See you there.